Congressman, great to see you. You introduced a resolution to defund the WHO. But before I get to that issue, I just want to get your reaction to Bernie Sanders dropping out. Was it inevitable?
Well, Bernie Sanders dropped out, but his opinions and his platform sure didn't. You've seen the Democrat Party move drastically to the left. So they're still talking about giving illegal immigrants taxpayer-funded health care. They're talking about open borders, even in the midst of a global pandemic. And they're talking about the Green New Deal, which would cripple our economy. So Bernie might be gone, but his radical, dangerous ideas are still around.
Although you would say that perhaps Joe Biden is more moderate. I know they've been trying to drag him to the left, but certainly Wall Street seems to think it's better news for the market that Sanders is out. The Dow up 575 points, so maybe not as bad as the markets were thinking.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't consider anybody moderate if they're for banning fracking. If you want to have a war on natural gas, that's not going to play in southwestern Pennsylvania, and that's going to cripple our ability to exert influence on the international stage. We're in a very strong position because we control our energy resources. And the fact that Joe Biden wants to ban fracking should scare everybody. And to me, that's no moderate. That's a far left radical. And he may be Joe Biden in name, but his platform is that of Bernie Sanders.
Point well taken. Let's get back to the issue we were going to talk about earlier, Congressman. Your resolution to defund the World Health Organization. What does the resolution do and why are you doing it?
Yes, well, it does two things. One is it says that the Director General right now has got to step down. This Director General was either grossly negligent in handling this pandemic or he was working hand in glove with the Chinese Communist Party. So that's one. Number two is it ties federal funding to the World Health Organization only if there's an investigation into how China and the World Health Organization mishandled this pandemic. If you think about it, the World Health Organization went out of their way to parrot the talking points of the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. And we know from data and a study put out by the Southampton University, no bastion of conservative thought, that had China just acted 3 weeks sooner, the world would have seen 95% reduction in this global pandemic. The Chinese lied about this from the start. Taiwan warned China back in December that this was transmitted person to person, and the Chinese lied about it. They jailed doctors and those who spoke up against it, and people are dying around the world because the Chinese Communist Party put politics above a public safety.
Very quickly, Congressman, I just have a headline from the director of WHO who says, "We have kept the world informed about the latest data, information and evidence." I have a feeling you would disagree.
That's rich because we know that they suppress numbers in China, and the World Health Organization parroted that. We also know that if Wuhan would have locked down and avoided travel around China, around the world, we could have suppressed this. But it was the World Health Organization that criticized the United States and the president's desire to shut down travel from China and to keep this pandemic local. But because the World Health Organization parroted the Chinese Communist Party platform, ignored the United States, ignored Taiwan, we now have a global pandemic which has killed in the hundreds of thousands.
All right, we'll have to leave it right there. But thanks so much for taking the time today. Congressman Reschenthaler.